After Bashar's overthrow, Foreign Secretary David Lammy refused to rule out a new wave of Syrian refugees. Al-Assad, after being questioned on the subject by Shadow Foreign Secretary Priti Patel, the Labour minister stated in a House of Commons speech that the Syrian resettlement problem was premature, without delving into whether Britain would accept asylum seekers after the regime change. In today's video, we will watch and react while going over all of the latest news from up and down the country, but first hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join our rapidly expanding community. Lammy said that the UK would continue to support people who remained in neighbouring countries' refugee camps through humanitarian aid to the region. However, during the speech, he messed up a lot with downright no knowledge at all about the situation. He literally humiliated himself. Fantastic t-shirts are back in stock at our store. You can get them right now at britishastn.com or by clicking the link in the description. According to David Lammy, Syria is adjacent to Libya. It is untrue that our Foreign Secretary lacks proficiency in geography, diplomacy, general knowledge, history, and current affairs. After saying that, he mounted his high horse and said that Syria's asylum applications would not be suspended. Later, the Home Office acknowledged that we are halting Syrian asylum applications. This man is a complete moron who has no idea what he is doing under his father's regime. She also brings up the subject of Syrian resettlement, and let me just say that it is premature. In her previous position in government, she has worked to support the humanitarian needs of Syrians, and we acknowledge the displacement that is occurring next door in Lebanon, Jordan, Turkey, Iraq, and neighboring countries. Of course, we will continue to support those in those refugee camps, and through the humanitarian aid that we are providing in this country. She also brings up the enormous problems that are currently occurring and our concerns, quite rightly, about the rise in terrorism that could engulf a nation where there are currently different communities, different minorities, different regions, and different sections. Not only that, but a cobra has been raised to fully comprehend these issues across government. Of course, it wouldn't be appropriate to comment on intelligence matters at this time, but she will come to understand that the government is active as she would expect us to be. The British public responded as follows. According to Huckleberry, the entire Labour front bench is made up of low-quality career plotters similar to those seen in local council management. You can view their resumes on Wiki. Unsettling street scenes. Phillips and Nandy McFadden has hardly ever worked outside of the United Kingdom. Lammy worked as a junior lawyer for 3 years, which is worrisome because it is one of the main problems for the Foreign Office. How did Lammy ever become a barrister? Rambler claimed that he probably couldn't even identify the various islands in the United Kingdom. George claimed that since it was shown on TV that he had no advisors, he ought to reconsider that choice and perhaps seek advice from someone to let him know that he needs one. This user claimed that there are always 1 or 2 people in the office who don't read the memos and don't attend any meetings, and that they are there because of day. David M. said that he feels that Rare and Lammy are excluded from many discussions on issues, and that this man is a puppeteer's prototype in foreign affairs who planted the language of the establishment's narrative. There's a reason why the GE was an early call, and there's a reason why Labour is full of inept little bureaucrats. Everything is happening very quickly. What do you think about this? Please share your thoughts in the comments section of other news. A benefit fraudster named Gran has passed away, leaving British taxpayers to bear the expense of the intricate scheme in which he stole £1 million. Over £240,000 in debt owing by Christina Pumphrey, who was imprisoned in 2020 and left no inheritance from which the council could collect the money, will have to be written off by Holton Council. The ruling executive board will be notified that, during the height of her dishonest plan, the funds that were fraudulently obediently contained over a 15-year period were used for vacations and daily living expenditures. The Department for Labour and Pensions, the Oldham and Holton Councils, and other agencies were paying Pumphrey £13,000 a month. In 2020, the Crown Prosecution Service charged the grandmother with 34 charges, including fraud, false accounting, and creating or supplying articles for use in frauds. The scam was dubbed one of the largest social security frauds ever. The grandmother used multiple false identities and fabricated disabilities to carry out the fraud. She claimed to be blind and wheelchair-bound, but investigator surveillance caught her driving and reading a newspaper while she was walking. After her conviction, she was given a term of 3 years and 8 months in jail at the age of 65. Holton Council tried to retrieve the stolen money by issuing debt invoices. The total amount owing to Holton Council was £24,999.125 in ineligible direct payments, and the council was recently notified of Puffrey's passing, making debt recovery impossible. £50,375 of the total amount was made up of housing benefit overpayments, with the remaining £895 being attributed to council tax arrears. A report presented to the executive board of Holton explained that attempts to collect the debt from Palm's estate had been unsuccessful because the fraudulently obtained funds had been used for years to pay for daily expenses, vacations, and other expenses. The report stated that both Oldham Council and the Department for Work and Pensions faced similar circumstances, with no assets left to claim against the write-off, and that the money would be paid off using the council's bad debt provision, a fund set aside for unrecoverable debts. Finally, speaking to a group of Canadian women during their trip to the UK late last year, King Charles made the candid admission that he was worried about his crown possibly wobbling during his historic coronation ceremony in May 2023. The king explained that he had to get used to wearing the ceremonial headpiece like his late mother Queen Elizabeth in order to get used to its weight. There's always that feeling a little nervous in case it wobbles. The king told his guests at Buckingham Palace about the difficulties of wearing the prestigious crown during such a momentous occasion. What do you think of what we covered in today's video? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you haven't already, please make sure to like this video. During